Hey everybody, Mike Gillette, and I have a question for you. Can your routine become too routine? Here's what I mean. I left law enforcement back in 2001, and shortly thereafter, some things happened in the world, notably 9/11, and I found myself traveling a lot, a lot. And an interesting thing happened to me over the course of about a year, year and a half of this traveling. I found myself in the worst physical shape I had been uh, in years, basically since I had gotten smashed up in a climbing accident many years prior. And it happened so gradually, and it happened with me being kind of oblivious to the fact that it happened, and here's why. For many years, I was very resolute about fitness. I trained hard. I ran a lot, lifted weights, did my martial arts training, and I did all of those things because I was a cop. And my belief was that so long as I was a cop and I was frequently a target of violence, that I needed to do everything I could to compensate for that. So, being a very average sized guy, I needed to be as strong as I could be, have as much resilience and endurance as I could, and I had to know stuff about fighting so I could protect myself intelligently. So I trained hard, and I did so just automatically without thinking. I never trained when I felt like it. I trained always. I never missed workouts unless I was ill. So a strange thing happened when I was kind of blown out of that routine, because now I had this 9 to 5 job, with an office, and then that led to frequent training trips, meetings, extended deployments, far from home, away from the gym, away from my normal routine. I started to become further separated from the things that were part of my routine, which included working out. And accordingly, over time, I became less and less conditioned. And I didn't really realize it was happening. And I think it was because I was on autopilot for so long. I was just so dutiful about getting my physical training in for so many years that it wasn't something I consciously thought about. Hence, because I wasn't consciously thinking about it, by not consciously thinking about how I would accomplish that when I was on the road, it just started not happening. And again, it felt like I was training all the time. If you would have asked me, hey, Mike, are you getting your workouts in regularly? Oh, yeah, because that had always been the answer. But the truth was, it was incorrect at that point. So eventually I noticed, and I had to solve for that, and so I did. But I lost ground in the process, and of course, I was losing ground at a time that I was just kind of past 40, and a lot of the things that they say about training beyond 40, those things started to come true. So progress was slow, and it took a lot of diligent effort to kind of get back where I needed to be. So the this idea that you'll frequently hear guys like me say is, you train without, wavering. You train always. You don't worry about feeling motivated. You don't worry about feeling like doing it. You just do it. Um, there's a point there where you're kind of in the sweet spot of that unrelenting discipline. But if you kind of get beyond that point where it's so automatic that you don't really notice it, and you kind of lose track of it, you're not being, I hate to use cliche phrases, but you're not being in the moment. It's easy to lose touch with it. And having been there and not wanting to go back there again, I caution everyone from becoming that sort of mentally detached from the task at hand. So, yes, make it routine, make it automatic, make it an undeniable, non negotiable part of your day, of your week, of your month. But don't get to the point where it's so automatic that you can start losing days and not even notice it. Hope that makes sense. So, Don't allow your routine to become so routine that you can fall out of the routine and not even notice.